Mostly.
Let's go. Tall Boy Radio Show. Voices loud, you know. Feeling that late night flow. Stories flowing fast. Riding on this broadcast. Memories, they will last. Raise your glass up high. Turn it up, it's time. Tall Boy on the line. Memories, they will last. Raise your...
Welcome back to episode 284 of the Tall Boy Radio Podcast. And as we always say, who knows where it goes when the beer flows? Well, the beer that is flowing tonight is really rather strong. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what could possibly go wrong. I failed as a father already. I'm babysitting as well. No, not babysitting because I'm actually the father of the children, so that's probably not qualified as babysitting, but I failed to get either of them to sleep. So the little lad's in the front room on the Switch. Matilda's joined us on the podcast, but he's not going to be trying any of the beer. Let me make that very, very clear. Gaz, did you want to say hello and introduce the other guys to your right?
Yeah, evening all, evening the world. Looking forward to this in a strange sort of way. You'll have to excuse the handheld mic. I feel like I'm sort of, I don't know, on a BBC Sport sort of interview panel or something like that. But yeah, looking forward to it, I think. And yeah, to my left is somebody that's been on a couple of podcasts before, but not for a while, I don't think. So, guys, you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm John. I'll be honest, I'm not at all looking forward to having this beer. As soon as I saw it and I saw what percentage it was, I thought, it's not going to be good. So, yeah, braving it.
Hello, I'm Andy. This is my first podcast, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm the only one looking forward to it, but I might regret that in a few minutes.
Yeah, you can have all of our bits when we decide it's absolutely not for us.
We've got the whiskey ready anyway.
Yeah, that won't end well either. But oh, Andy, look, there you go. Just in case it doesn't go very well, there's a bit of left there as well. So, would you like to say something, Tiddy?
I'm looking forward to it because I don't have to drink the strongest beers or the second strongest.
Exactly, yeah. And that is what we're doing tonight. We are drinking the two strongest beers in the world. The first one we're going to drink is the second strongest. Warm up our taste buds with this one, Snake Venom. Tell you a little bit about it. It's made by Brewmeister. It's 67.5%. It apparently has a sweet, nutty aroma. You shouldn't drink more than 35 ml at a time. It's brewed in Moray from a smoked peat malt and has two types of yeast, a beer yeast and a champagne yeast. Does that entice anybody?
Not really, no. Good or bad?
It smells rough. It's brown, which I wasn't expecting.
It doesn't look that bad, actually. Oh, I don't know.
Looks more like a wood.
Like a treacle or something.
No, it's quite light looking. There we go. I'll pass it on to Gaz.
Thank you very much.
In the cocktail.
Just hold that for a second, Tiddy.
There's one even stronger, but it's not a beer, it's a spirit, it's that strong. So this episode was based on beers, so that's why my dad didn't get the spirit, because that's technically not a beer if it's a spirit, you know?
Correct, yeah. So there was a Norwegian one, which is 95%, but is not classified as a beer because it's basically all spirit. So yeah, do you know how you make beer strong?
Put more alcohol in it?
Well, yeah. But no, when you brew it, basically you freeze it, then take the ice crystals out because the bit that's frozen is water, so it concentrates it, and then it's been fortified with ethanol.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Right,
It doesn't actually smell too bad.
Are we going to taste it individually, or are we going all together?
It might not smell bad, but it might taste bad.
That's not too bad, actually.
More of a spirit. It tastes like, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting the burn in the back of the throat now.
I was going to say, it's clear. No,
There's a bit stronger than that.
Mm.
That's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a bit of a burn now.
That burns.
That does burn. Yeah, that does burn.
Does it taste good or not?
It actually doesn't taste as bad as I thought it was going to, but you can actually taste the burn. You can feel the burn now, and I've made a tiny little bit of it. So I'll have another little bit and then
In
see
all
where we are.
fairness, though, it does say it's nutty, and it has got a nutty taste to it. Can you? I'm surprised you can taste anything.
A little bit. Swirl it around your mouth. You give it a little swirl around your mouth. I'll stomach it.
Snort it.
I like
I'm
nuts.
absolutely alive now.
I can literally feel it here now.
I like peanut butter and nuts.
Okay. What?
There's still a bit left if you need more.
No. Well, I'm going to make a cocktail.
Yeah, don't swirl it around your mouth.
I know. I know. It's hanging everywhere. My gums are alive.
Oh, hell. Yeah, that's warm.
That's one thing done wrong. Guys, if you ever try these, do not swirl it round your mouth. I got that advice from other people. Don't worry, I did not drink it.
My tongue.
I thought that'd be right up your street there, and it just, you know what I mean? You like your strong beers. It's
It
like,
reminds me of like just like a strong whiskey or like spirit. And just burns.
yeah, it burns.
So it's nice, but I couldn't drink loads of this.
No.
No, I don't think anybody's meant to be drinking loads of it. I think that's
It's on the chest. I tell you, I expected worse.
yeah. We have got the worst one to come.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make a cocktail out of this for us all to try as well. So I'm going to make not a Manhattan, sorry, an old fashioned out of it as well. I'm going to add some whiskey to it. And I was just saying to Andy, the strange thing about adding whiskey to this beer is normally you add a whiskey to a cocktail and it strengthens it. This is actually going to weaken it because it's only 40%.
I expected that people would spit it out, maybe not say that it was okay. And I thought that they would say like that it didn't taste good and it wouldn't be okay to drink more like. And I thought they'd spit it everywhere and that, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't think they'd take it that well.
I'm already fearing the afterburn when it repeats on you. I'll be honest with you, because you burp, and I can imagine that. No, hold it down.
Burping fire.
I forgot to mention, by the way, the B&Q bucket is down here for anybody who needs to peek at any time. Yeah. So this is on Untapped, okay? It's got 2,126 ratings on there. So that's how many people have tried it beforehand.
I think that Dad is making a cocktail, also known as Beans and Adam. Said he'd make a cocktail, started making it at the table as the podcast is still going on.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll try another bit, but I'm not so sure that I can be drinking quite a lot of that, if I'm honest. Let me try this bit.
Right. So I'm going to nip and go get some orange juice to add to this. What do you think the rating of this is on Untapped? Have some guesses.
What's it out of?
It's out of 5. I'm going to suggest it's 4 point something. I reckon loads of people that try it will go like, yeah, that's all right. Do you know what you think it's really low?
3.8 or something.
I go lower
Is
than
it 3.8?
2.2.
I'm just going to have a quick look over at Beans' notes just to see if I can actually see it. No, I can't actually. So I can't see it. So what? You haven't actually tasted it, have you, Teddy? Beans, what do you think it might be? You know though, don't you? So yeah, because you've done the research. That was a bit of a silly question, I suppose. He's back.
I'm going to make a prediction on what it might taste like. I think that it tastes like spicy, like hot sauce just being drank straight from a bottle. And I don't think that I would like to try it. Maybe when I'm a bit older, probably not 18, probably 51 like my dad is. Pass it.
It was a low blow, that was.
Pass it on to him, see what he wants to say about my comment.
Well, thanks for that, Matilda. Yeah. So the rating is 2.96
I'll go, yeah. Fair enough.
out of 5.
Do you think some people actually drink that and like that then?
I think if you drank that and enjoyed it, it's not as a beer.
No.
How do you drink this though? Because we're all drinking little shots. It's like that's a big bottle.
Yeah, you're not going to swig from that, are you? You know, it's like, oh, do you want a glass of that? Well, no, I'll take it from the
Well,
bottle, mate. You know what I mean?
Well,
all
this-
night.
It's a good question, that is, dude, because one of the things it does say on the website when you buy it is that bit of afterburn there, guys. It is you serve it out and no more. You shouldn't drink any more than 35 ml at a time because of the strength of it. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's 50 anyway. I don't know that much, but
How much do you put in your car?
but it does say because it's not carbonated, you can keep it in the fridge.
It's not like a beer, right?
It's not. No.
We're gonna have a lot of people coughing tonight, and as you might have heard from my dad, he is shaking the cocktail. You can only just hear the shaking when he gets near the microphone. Can't hear it so much, I don't think, when he's too far away. Shaking, making the cocktail, and I hope that everyone here enjoys the cocktail and knows that the beer has died down and look like maybe he might be making his very own version of a beer, not a cocktail.
Thank you. Well, what I've done. So we've got a nice. This is an old fashioned. So which is I've gone a bit heavy on the orange. I thought I might want to take some of the taste away. So I'll put a straw in front of everybody so that we're not all, cross contaminating. I don't want anything you guys got.
Just another freebie as well.
Oh, I'll tell you what, dude. That ain't too bad. Try that. I apologise for the glass in advance, John, and I know you won't appreciate it.
Oh, it's Stoke.
Yeah, it's a Stoke City one.
Not everyone will like it. Everyone has different opinions. I hope that everyone likes it and it tastes very good.
That's actually okay. And I'm not a massive old-fashioned drinker, such a whiskey drinker, but actually that is palatable.
Yeah,
I'll be
so
honest with
Bo, if you're watching this one, cousin, that one's for you.
What are the bits like?
That's just a bit of orange peel.
Back spit.
Yeah.
That's those nuts that it's apparently made of.
Yeah.
Didn't peel the orange properly, did you, Dad?
Thanks.
Oh,
John's not a fan. John's not a fan.
I need to mind an old fashioned, so I'll be interested to hear his take on it.
It's all right. It's a lot easier to drink than that.
There's a lot.
Yeah, he says slurping it away in the corner. Look at him.
See you later.
Look like someone's very much enjoyed it, sipping the end of his straw, trying to get it up. A round of applause to Andy, please.
We
Stoke away.
Further enough, we were in Northern Monk, weren't we, in Manchester recently, and they do an old fashioned on tap. So literally, it's pre-mixed. You just pour it on tap. And I tell you what, it wasn't too bad, was it, dude?
It's good.
But
Especially after a few beers.
But isn't the point of, in a way, doing that is if you're doing it homemade, you can sort of mess with the quantities of various things and make it slightly stronger, slightly weaker, depending on the juice.
You can't do it in the bar, though, can you?
Well, no, but you
get what you're given.
Yeah, certainly if it's on tap and it's pre-made, yeah.
I don't think that's too bad though. That old fashioned.
So then, is that like a type of beer that you're talking about?
No, it's a cocktail, a whiskey-based cocktail.
Is cocktail technically beer since you've actually put some beer in that? So technically, you made a beer cocktail.
Yeah, it is a beer cocktail.
Did it taste good to you, in your opinion, or did you not really like it?
I thought it was all right. To be fair, I thought it was all right.
Did you think that the second died down a lot, or do you think it didn't die down that much and was still really burning hot on you?
I'm telling you, that cocktail's not bad. As far as cocktails go, that ain't too bad. The beer, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
Could you drink a whole glass of that cocktail, or would it just be too much?
No, I think I'll be smashed if I drank that. If you are interested, by the way, in purchasing this beer, the Snake Venom, I got it from a site called Hard to Find Whiskey, and it retails for $49.95 and comes with this nice little free glass to drink it out of, which is it basically looks like it. I mean, it even looks like a whiskey glass, doesn't it?
More like heart attack.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It definitely looks like and has. I mean, I'm not a massive whiskey drinker, but it definitely looks and smells a bit like a whiskey.
It is technically a beer. It is technically a beer because it is brewed like a beer. So it takes 2 months, I think, to brew, and then it is steeped with alcohol by adding extra ethanol.
So, dear, you say it smells like a whiskey. Does it taste like one?
Well, I'm not a massive whiskey drinker, but I can imagine certain whiskies tasting like that. But
I don't think it tastes like a whiskey. What I think it tastes like, I think it's the ethanol gives it the taste of a vodka.
You think?
Yeah, there's a taste of vodka, but with a malty, nutty taste to it. It tastes way better than I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie.
Uncle John in the.
I think it tastes pretty much like I thought it was going to. It just tastes very battery acidy, but really strong, harsh on the throat. But before it came on, I went on that grok, that AI, that artificial intelligence thing. I asked grok if it was safe to drink like these high ones, and he said under no circumstances. It says something, I can't remember what it was, but you can go into some kind of shock or something because your body feels like it's being poisoned or attacked, and that's because the alcohol level will be in there. So yeah, you can go into some kind of shock.
Oh, Jenny mentioned that, didn't she?
Yeah. So my good wife is a GP. And she's like, don't drink too much of that. Did she say something like AF, which is atrial fibrillation? So it's like heart fibrillation sort of thing. She's like, I don't want you having a heart attack, and I was like, well, I won't. Well, I'm not planning on it anyway. So if that happens, then we know, at least we know what it is. But yeah, yeah, you're like this. Oh, my heart. But I'm sure that they said it. Yeah, probably like you said. Like all of a sudden, if you have like too much beer, everything, your heart like races a lot and stuff. So she said that obviously various people have had sort of alcohol poisoning and stuff, and literally your heart and it must be some sort of immune thing that. I say your body's trying to face
now.
Exactly.
Probably should have started with that.
Yeah, so start with the warning. Start with the warning, not after you've drank it.
So, did any of you guys actually like it, or did you just dislike it?
I don't think it's too bad. I'm not going to say I like it, but at the same time, I wouldn't say I dislike it. I think it's way more drinkable than I was expecting.
Would you give it more than the 2.9?
No, I wouldn't have given it 2.96 to be honest. I'd have given it maybe 2 at best.
But the people who go on that site, is that a beer site? Or is that
Yeah.
a wine site?
Yeah, no, it's untapped. So literally, you'll find any beer on there, and I don't know what the top rated beer on there. Well, I know one of the American ones is one that Steve kindly brought me from America, Pliny the Elder, and it was an absolute cracker of a beer. And just a minute. Yeah, so literally every beer, whenever you buy a beer, you go on, you put where you've had it. Beer emporiums on there, loads, and you rate the beer out of 5. Most of them are better than that.
So, Dad, were you expecting more of a sting to your tongue, or less of a sting to your tongue, or were you actually predicting it to be that much? What was your prediction?
I thought, bit of backlash. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. I thought it was going to pack a punch like a Japanese mule.
Are you wondering on the first strongest beer that's actually a beer, not spirit? Are you wondering on that? Wondering if it's going to taste as bad or better, or
I
really
suspect.
bad?
Well, I suspect that this other one, although I think they're made by different people, but they look very, very similar. So they're both made in Scotland. So I suspect there's some collaboration going on between the two. They both, probably should have started with that as well.
Yeah. So that one that we've just drank was what percentage?
67.5.
67.5. And what's the one that we're about to drink?
75.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying to process that because that wasn't as bad as I thought, actually.
No.
And like I say, I'm not a massive A, whiskey, B, vodka, C. I'm not a massive sort of shorts spirit drinker. And I suppose in my head, I thought it might be like a really horrible, treacly cough mixture type thing, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought, I'll be honest with you.
While I start preparing the next one, I'll be interested to know, previous to this one, what is the strongest beer you have? I'll start off. So on episode, no, I think it was the 5th anniversary episode of the podcast we did. I drank the Brewdog Poker Face, which is 27%, and I don't mind telling you, the following day, the shit's pretty bad. And then I looked it up since, and it's prune, fig, and dark chocolate. So that probably explains that a little bit more, because I don't want to be ill tomorrow, because I'm going to see Morrissey and Co-op live. But what's your strongest beers that you've had, guys?
I think when we went up to Edinburgh, what was the one that we had was it the Salt Horse House? Was that about 18? Something like that, I think.
That was the 10th anniversary Stay Puffed Marshmallow by that Welsh company. I forget what they're called.
Yeah,
What's
so
it
I
called,
think
Andy? What?
The
They do the Club Tropica.
Tiny Rebel.
Tiny Rebel, that's it.
Yeah,
So
Tiny
the
Rebel. Yeah.
Tiny Rebel special they did for the 10th anniversary. And that one was really treacly and really, really thick and delightful.
So I see that you're all saying that you weren't expecting it to be like that. So you're saying like that you'd expect it to be less strength, like you didn't expect it to be like that less on the strength. You thought it would be like really strong. That's what you
Yeah.
guys have been saying technically. So you were expecting worse in your head. You just expected something that's not that good, but sometimes you expect better than the bad, but this time you expected better than the better, if that even makes sense.
But we also you're spot on with everything you said, but we want to find out from Andy and from Uncle John what the strongest beers that they've had are.
Mine would be disappointing, I think. Because I can't actually think of anything I've had that's strong. I've probably not had anything stronger than a 12%. I would have thought until then. So, yeah.
Until then, yeah.
I'll be going back now.
Bit of a jump.
Andy?
I've had one called Tactical Nuclear Penguin. I think that's Brewdog. I think there's one that's 19%. There's one that's 42, and I can't remember which way around it is. But there's that one,
Right?
And Sink the Bismarck, and I can't remember which way around it.
Yeah.
One's 19 and one's 42.
Both decent, or was the 42 a bit like?
Right.
Well, yeah, bad. Yeah. You see, that's what I expected that to be a bit more like really like horribly syrupy. Yeah,
It's
sort of
like
thing.
you pour it out the glass. And it's just
Almost like
Really
mead.
out.
It's like, just like oh, what?
It's like-
But no, I think the one that we had in Edinburgh was decent. And we've probably told a story before on the podcast and stuff. And he said, "Oh, yeah, you effectively you're sharing that." We were like, "No." He was like, "Yeah, you're sharing it." Oh, right, okay, yes, we'll have 2 glasses then. And it was drinkable. As I say, it wasn't horrible. It was tasty. It was drinkable. You definitely couldn't drink 2 or 3 of them. Do you know what I mean? You knew you were having that strength. So yeah, probably whatever that was. Like I say, 18-19% maybe. Am I looking forward to this one? No, probably not.
I'm going to tell you now, dude. This smells way worse. If you want to tip anything away, tip some stuff
No,
into there.
no, you can't finish it.
I don't have to finish it.
My tongue's actually properly burnt now, I think.
Thank you very much.
No.
Do you want to chuck some stuff in there, Andy? He's
He's
thinking about it. Yeah, you can tell he's thinking
I
about it.
will be getting rid of it in a minute.
So what I would expect. So if I had to predict
The more I
it,
smell
then
it,
I would
the clearer my
probably-
nose is getting.
if I had to predict it, then I'd probably predict the opposite of medicine. Like a medicine that just makes you unwell. Like the opposite of medicine, because medicine's supposed to make you well. But there, you just have no medicine in that bottle. It's the opposite of medicine, and it's trying to ask you to get the bad flavoring of medicine to show that that's actually worse than medicine. So technically, it's the opposite of medicine.
So what I want to know is, it says, warning, this beer is strong. Do not exceed 35 ml in one sitting. What does one sitting constitute? If I get up from the table, come back, does that mean I can have another one? So actually, genuinely, what is one sitting? Is it like over a period of an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours?
Well, here's the interesting. I found it on another site. Annoyingly, it was a little bit cheaper. So it was 41 quid on this other site. And they would only sell you 6 at a time because it's strong. 6?
6 sittings or 6
I was going to say, it's a typo. It's just the H.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So the thing, you know how as you get stronger beers, and I have had, as I say, a few like 10%, I'm sure, but they do get like thicker, don't they? And as you say, like syrupy and like, but it has to get to a certain point where it's not going to carry on being like that.
Yeah.
It's not going to resemble that. It's going to end up turning more like a spirit, and that's. I don't know what percentage you reach that, but that's what these are. These are so much more like a spirit than
Because at some point, they kept getting thicker and thicker and thicker, and literally would come out solid.
Yeah.
You know, you see, like, oh my God, what is that? And I'm actually eating it rather than drinking it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at some point, I suppose, there has to be that tipping point where, yeah, it is like a vodka or whiskey. Just
Thank you, Ben
quick,
Shepherd.
quick question. I'm just going to nip over there and just rinse that out so that we get the full taste of that. Do you reckon we?
I don't
It's
think
not-
it-
Do you think it's?
I really
Oh,
don't
are we?
think
Is that
we
too
need to worry
technical?
about it.
Oh,
I like the label on it though as well.
Apart from the word fire.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about? Do you want me to tell you a little bit about this one then? So this one again, it takes 2 months to make. They use the freezing process to take the alcohol out, and then add ethanol. Yeah. Okay. Just pure alcohol. And it starts its life, this one, as a barley wine. So something like Gold Label or Lawyers, Guns and Money, Andy, which is one of the beers that we loved, wasn't it?
Lucy juice.
Yeah, it was. It was like an 11% beer that we found. And fully enough, Tilly was there. So we discovered this beer. Kim and Amy had gone out on a day out, hadn't they? And left me in charge of Matilda when she was about 4 months old. And basically we just went on a bender. Took her with us. And we would have got away with it if Andy hadn't told the same story 3 times.
we did about 3 loops of Alsace as well.
So technically, what you've just drank is the opposite of medicine because it's definitely not medicine. And if you were ill, I wouldn't recommend drinking it because I don't think it's going to change you, and I think it might make you worse. So technically, you're just drinking the opposite of medicine there because it doesn't taste good. Not almost as worse as medicine does. Well, more worse than medicine does. So I wouldn't recommend drinking a whole bottle at once. You could die.
Yeah, that's solid advice.
that is solid advice. I just quite like the way that it says on the ingredients. It says ethanol beer.
Yeah. When the first ingredient is
Ethanol.
it's not a good sign.
You know it's not a good sign. Yeah, are we pouring this? Have you poured this, or is that your?
That's mine. Yeah.
Right. Let me pour myself a little bit then.
Just going back to the repeating the story 3 times. I do that now without even drinking. My memory's just shot to
Yeah,
pieces.
that's fair comment. That's fair comment.
Slightly more conservative measure this time, Gary.
Correct. Slightly more conservative measure.
This one smells much worse to me.
It just smells strong. It doesn't smell worse. It just smells strong.
It smells like a cleaner.
Oh, no, that does actually.
I tell you what, now it's breathed a little bit. I smell it from there. Wow. Just slap
Worst
your
thing,
hand
so
in the
actually, rather than just if you actually smell like cover the bottle with your nose and then smell so that.
So the last one was described as having a sweet, nutty aroma. This one, okay, fiery initial kick that challenges the taste bud and burns the mouth.
I'm genuinely surprised how different they are.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be similar.
I didn't think you'd be able to distinguish
Taste
between
well
the two.
different.
Have you tasted?
Yeah.
Notes of dried fruit and smokiness with a sweet malted barley finish. Now I can smell the dry fruit in it. I'm not excited about drinking this one.
It may smell like a washer, but
Oh, God. That is disgusting.
I don't recommend actually putting it in your washing machine because then your clothes will probably be ruined, which wouldn't be very good.
Oh, no.
Especially not plain white ones because that would just be drenched.
The first
And,
taste. Is
yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't
find it the
recommend doing
aftertaste,
anything
that
with the
breathe
washing.
after-
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Right. Have a sip now and then breathe out in your nose and you can actually taste mold. Like damp mold.
That's actually not very pleasant. So take a sip and then breathe out your nose.
Yeah, that's
It's got legs as well.
absolutely guaranteed. I won't have sinusitis for about 6 months.
Oh,
That's rank.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
absolutely rank. I tell you what, the snake venom in comparison, that's worth that 2.9.
Yeah, give me that first bottle. I'll drink loads of that now. Oh, that's not good.
No.
I just had a whiff of that as Dad just breathed it out right into my face. It tastes the opposite of good. I would not want to take a sip, especially not when I just turned 18, because I think that's a bit too extreme. I think that when I turn 18, I'll start off with simple 1% beers, maybe.
Good idea.
If you can get them, not go straight into the strong ones. Maybe when I'm a bit older, I'll do the strong ones, maybe 20s.
You'd never drink again if you tried.
There's definitely a little bit of like afterburn, like that.
That's rank. That is absolutely
I
rank.
feel like I'm going hot as well. I can feel my face.
My forehead.
You see, I only went very conservative measure, so
That's disgusting.
I can't believe I'm actually going to have another little sip.
Well, hopefully that was teed up the cocktail. Okay, so the cocktail is called a Golden Dragon cocktail.
Have a sip and then. Ooh.
It is.
Have a sip and then breathe in through your mouth. So have a sip, have a drink, and breathe in through your mouth. Swallow it and breathe in through your mouth.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I did actually I'm trying to blow out as if I just inhaled it.
Oh. So if you have a drink and then you breathe in through your mouth, it's like, oh, yeah, that hits at the back.
Oh.
I'm just going to finish this a little bit. If I keel over, I'm having a heart attack.
I'd imagine that pure alcohol doesn't taste that much different to this.
Oh, wow. So what's this cocktail?
This cocktail then, okay, so it's lemongrass to give it a nice citrusy texture and taste, which I've muddled very nicely with my muddler. And I did a little bit before we started. So if there's any bits floating in it, that is the lemongrass. I apologize. It's not particularly well strained from that cocktail glass. And then ginger beer.
You tried this?
Yeah, it's not good.
You're selling it well, dude. You're selling it well. Change your sales technique.
The Manhattan's all right. No, the old fashioned, sorry, is decent. Oh, yeah. Need that taste to it.
That's all right.
You like
That's okay.
It looks inoffensive.
That is all right.
I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of that at all.
To be honest, just looking at it, actually, when I look at that, I actually think, that looks really good, and I would try sip if I was allowed to. Because to be honest, that looks nice. That made me stop my sentence then. Can I actually have a sip?
No.
Alcohol in it by any chance?
A lot of alcohol in it by a lot of chance.
Yeah, that's
So
not bad.
you've used
You can
that
taste the
beer
ginger beer
in
in
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think you could actually tell that it's in there.
No. Well, you're not going to find out.
I'm not a massive, bit of a left turn. If you go for Chinese and they have ginger spring onion, I'm not a massive ginger fan, but actually that saves that because I don't think you can taste the alcohol as much in that. I think the ginger saves it, and you could probably get away with drinking that.
I can still taste that. You know, when you close your mouth and just breathe, and it's like
Yeah,
the same taste as when you're drinking that.
But 30 seconds later, I can still taste the ginger beer.
Yeah.
The fiery ginger beer. I'll have one more sip of that. Actually, that's not bad. Actually.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
You know what? I'll
Okay, that's
have a bit of that.
Yeah.
I'll have a bit of that because I don't want that other stuff. Bearing in mind that other stuff is in it.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
that's all right. That's all right. It tastes like I can taste something lemony. Like lemony. It tastes like so it's citrusy and ginger beer. It's nice.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not a massive ginger fan, but actually that's okay.
I like
Don't mind that.
I like ginger beer. I don't like that. I think I can taste the beer in it though.
You see, it's weird because I suppose that testament to different palates and stuff because we each tasted the beer and we were like, "Ooh, not sure." But then you've had to go with that and think you normally like ginger, but you didn't like it. I actually don't. I'm not saying I don't mind it, and I would order that at the bar, but it's not as bad as I thought it's going to be.
How strong do you think that is by itself? Now that drink
By itself, well, I'd say there's about 3 times more than of ginger beer than the drink in there. So it's probably down to about 20 odd %.
Yeah, I can drink.
Oh,
I
happy
can drink it. It's all right.
First one.
I think if you played around with the measurements and the different volumes of each, I think you could get that to a point where actually it's quite nice.
Yeah, there's nothing offensive about that.
No, compared to the Manhattan one.
Old fashioned.
Sorry, the old fashioned one.
I've called it Manhattan a few times.
Yeah, so you did actually. That's where I got it from. So, but the old fashioned, you can taste the strong beer in it and then the whiskey in it. Whereas that, I think
It's unbelievable to believe that these two are the same drink because this is
putrid.
This
Yeah,
is
it's putrid.
nasty.
Yeah. So
it's nasty.
yeah,
He says glugging it down.
yeah. If you were looking to purchase this again, I picked this up from the hardtofindwhiskey.com and it retails for $49.95 a bottle, which is an absolute bargain for something that you're not going to want to drink. In comparison, I'm telling you now, that Snake Venom's not too bad. I'd have another Snake Venom on top of that. Yeah.
I just smelled it. Ugh, it tastes bad. I mean, smells.
Yeah, you're not tasting. So, in terms of the Untapped ratings, then what do we think? So, this has only had 31 ratings on Untapped.
I think it's going to be lower. Though.
It's got to be lower.
Uncle John.
2.9.
Yeah.
This can't be more than 2.2. It can't be more. I'm going to go 2.1.
Uncle John, I saw you gulping that down. You must have enjoyed it.
I know.
1.8.
Andy?
2.5.
Gaz wins that one, 1.5. 1.5.
With the smell, I will probably rate it 0.10, 0.10. Probably 0.1 is probably all that you could rate it. If I were to pick, I put 0 votes on, and the vote that you could vote against would be 1, because I don't think you can vote anything good on that smell, let alone the taste, what it would taste like. I would have liked to try it, but not liked to try it, but it didn't smell good. So, but that doesn't mean it doesn't taste good.
No, it does. Trust me. But I'm going to tell you now, it's got myself some more Snake Venom. That's all right. That, I tell you. That's an absolute
Go back to the first one. That's a winner.
After drinking
That's a winner.
I tell you what, that is a win.
Have you seen the bottled on and best before on these?
No, I believe they're out of date though.
No. Well, no, out of date. You're kidding. This
No.
is crazy. Right? Okay, so it's bottled 11/04/24.
Okay.
So you think
April
there's
last
no
year.
way there's no way that should be out of date. How long does a normal beer last you?
It's 6 to 12 months, depending on.
So best before 11/04, exactly the same. 21/24. It lasts 100 years.
Oh my god!
It lasts 100 years because it's basically pure alcohol, isn't it? It's 100 years.
But again, it's when which then makes you think it's more spirit like when they turn out it's age barreled in 40, 50-year-old whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it makes you think 100 years.
Yeah.
So that's basically just pure ethanol then.
Yeah.
There's no other ingredients other than the fact that ethanol, because that
If
doesn't
you
go
had
off
that in
effectively.
100 years and it has gone off, you wouldn't know anyway. Would you?
I thought
No.
it
It takes that bad.
It might improve it slightly.
So, Dad,
I
I
thought it was only
hear
like 3
that
months
you
in
said
date.
Snake Venom isn't actually that bad after you've tried that.
No, I tell you.
From beer.
It's different. That
Have a spot. Have a spot of that afterwards, and you'll be fine with that on GFG.
Really?
Yeah. Let GFG share his opinion
This
on
just
this.
reminds me of like a Bell's
gonna
whiskey.
this is
with
gonna get
Snake
that.
Venom. Like.
Have you got? Was that? Yeah, that's not too bad, dude. I'm telling you.
It smells way better.
Yeah.
It smells so much better.
Well, you've killed off your taste buds now. Haven't you?
That's quite enjoyable.
No, it's not.
No, I wouldn't say that.
It's nutty.
It's less horrible.
But it's weird because I think that's. I mean, as I say, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I think that's more whiskey.
I don't like whiskey, and it does taste like whiskey.
You see, if somebody said to me, "Drink that," what do you think it is? I would say whiskey as opposed to like a vodka or I'd say whiskey.
I'd say poison.
Oh, well, yeah. Pick your poison. No, but do you not? I mean, obviously well, Andy and Adam, you obviously drink whiskey. Do you not get the sense that that is more of a whiskey? Because you said very much vodka, didn't you?
I taste more like vodka to me. It tastes like a malty vodka.
It just reminds me of like years ago when I had the first Bell's whiskey, and it burns. It just reminds me of that. Like, I go back to my
And that's
12-year-old self.
and that obviously you're my 12-year-old self. Drink. But you see, I'm not obviously my mum used to drink whiskey and stuff at home. I'm not a massive whiskey drinker, but whenever I tasted it, it's that feeling of it. Oh my god, it burns! It's that feeling of it burns, and I suppose in a way why I suppose I haven't really drank whiskey that much is that just it's the reminder that when I was 8 years old drinking. Now I'm joking. When I was like 16 trying it for the first time, you're like, oh god, it's a bit like when John bought Pernod that one year, and we said, I really, really don't want Pernod, and then he ended up getting loads of Pernod, and we weren't very well after that, unfortunately.
Well, when I asked ChatGPT to create a cocktail for one of these, because one of them has a cocktail online for it, ChatGPT created one for me, and one of them had Pernod in it, and I thought, If I buy a bottle of Pernod, Gaz is not going to appreciate that.
Years ago, there was a group of mates, and we were out, and I don't know, was it like a Christmas Eve or between Christmas, New Year, whatever it was, and we were all having a game of pool, and this and the other. Said to John, he was like, "What drink we have? What drink we have?" I said, "Anything, just don't Pernod. Anything other than Pernod, it's fine." What did you come back with? "Oh, got some Pernod, boys." What a well, I won't swear because Tiddy's here, but you can imagine. So then we drank that. I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't really like that." So right, what's next? Anything other than Pernod? What's he come back with? Pernod. John, you do me headed now.
I love Pernod. I love a Pernod. So a little bit of Rick Blaine says Pernod is amazing. Cheers, Rick. Totally agree with you, dude. So
I do disagree, Rick.
So couple of little bits of maintenance or whatever we have to do. A bit of catch up that we haven't done in a while. Country number 78, Estonia. Now tuning in. 78 countries. And I want to say a quick hello to Karen Young as well, who messaged, I was chatting with earlier online, who joined us when we had Evan Gray on, and we're looking at getting Evan on again to do a reading for myself and Gaz in the very near future, as long as Gaz survives. So yeah, hello Karen. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching. One of the episodes we've done recently that's been very, 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 very popular was the one that we did last, which was metal detecting. And
Can I just say something?
Go on.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this at all, but I'm quite into metal detecting. And I actually, I own a couple of metal detectors. I'm quite into metal detecting, and I watched that one, and I thought he was a really interesting bloke. He told some great stories, amazing finds. But I was sat there thinking, why didn't they ask me on this one? Instead of asking me, we've got to drink this.
If we'd have known, if we were
literal poison.
If we'd have known you were a metal detectorist or whatever they call it, then
I knew.
Well, why didn't you invite him in, dude?
I love a bit of it.
So do you local, or do you actually go to like digs,
Well,
not digs,
I've got
whatever?
a friend who's got a very small holding, and so I used to do a bit on his, and that started when someone had been riding a horse at his because he's got paddocks and things, and they'd lost a gold ring with diamond inset. So he said,
Yeah.
because he knew I was kind of like just starting to get into it. So he said, any chance you can come down and see if you can find it? And I went down, and I don't know, about 3 hours I was there, but in the end found this ring. So that's what got me into it. But no, I fear the you know.
Sorry, I've just burped. Jesus Christ, that hurt.
Getting the parsnip quick.
Parsnips, lemongrass.
So back onto the
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I do. And I was watching it, and I was really envious of what he's found and how much time he's managed to find to put into it. I thought, yeah, you're funny.
When he showed obviously the cabinet and stuff, and he's like all these finds out. Literally, we're not obviously detectorists, but we were like, dude, that's like mint. And I suppose for a detectorist, you're like, that's proper holy grail, and like must be amazing. And he was like, the buzz of then finding that, or there's something that buzz.
It is exciting, but he said he did the farmlands and stuff, and I quite like making a bit of a day of it or something. So I quite like doing the beach combing thing. And he's right, you find a load of rubbish there, and it is all ring pulls and aluminium foil that somebody's done the putties in and things. But yeah, I like that because it's a bit of a day out, and I just like one trip down the beach. So yeah, but yeah, so cheers.
So next time he's on, we have another detectorist. You're on.
Oh yeah, nice.
We'll do another episode because I tell you what, that was really, really popular episode. I had loads of people comment on it. Loads of people emailed me telling how much they loved it and what a good guy he was. And he was a top bloke, wasn't he?
Yes, funny guy. Funny guy.
So guys, back to the beer that you tried. So lots of you have been saying that after trying the first one, it was actually okay the second, and you started to enjoy the second, because I actually think that I would agree with you, because when you've had the first blast of very strong beer, then you go back to the second and
She's going to be sick.
and think yes, that was the second, and I thought it was strong before, but then when you get like that sip of the first, you think, oh, actually, but now the second's not that strong because you've just tried a really strong, like, beer that's the strongest except the spirit, but I'm going to call it the strongest for this episode. So you call it the first strongest, and then you try the second again. So the second wasn't bad in the start, people say, but I think that it might have got, like, better because you tried the first and then your taste buds has changed and said, actually, this is way better than it was before. So, yeah, that's how people get into liking that stuff. Maybe they order them
I
both, maybe.
don't think anybody's going to get into liking it. You know, in all
I'm not
honesty.
so sure you ever get to the
No.
bit from that. But you never know. You know.
I'm fairly.
was ruined by beer that I was quite enjoying. Before. It's ruined that completely.
So my question, I suppose, is, and I know we've sort of tried to do a little bit hybrid sort of cocktails and stuff. If you're not going to drink that as a beer, what would you drink it as? And I know you made, did you say the old fashioned and then lemongrass, whatever that is? But is that what you would do? You'd put so, for example, with the second one, the stronger one, would that make a better old fashioned? Or
I think, I think the first one. Works
yeah,
better.
no.
Yeah,
Which one is it, dude?
The first one works better as an old fashioned. I think
Because I think that's more whiskey like.
Yeah, I think that would ruin. No, to me, as a whiskey drinker, they're not whiskey like at all.
But that's the one that you made the old fashioned with, wasn't it? The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it also has whiskey in it.
Yeah, and he's just ready just to pour it into it, make a Boilermaker, right? You just find a beer and chuck it in happy days.
I don't know, I might ruin the beer.
It would ruin the beer. It would ruin the beer.
If I were to look at one of them, like, drinks and you ask me what it was, I'll probably say whiskey because it has, like, the same look to whiskey. And you could end up pranking someone by pouring a whole glass of it and they'll say, thanks for whiskey. But you could
with it. It'd be harsh, that would.
like, what I would imagine it to be like. So I haven't drunk it, but my prediction.
You're not going to either.
But my prediction would actually be technically hot sauce, like a bottle of hot sauce just being poured into a glass and then started to be like drank. But I expected that for the second egg, but it obviously wasn't. And then the first was like double chili hot sauce. So
well, I'm going to tell you now. Maybe we'll crack some hot sauces open. So I've got a Caribbean hot sauce in the fridge, which is absolutely lethal.
Get a bit of Tabasco in there, bit of chili sauce.
Yeah.
Do you reckon with these that to be a brewer of these beers, you have to be less skilled almost?
Well, yeah, because you can't be too concerned about the taste. Although I don't know, maybe if you were to produce a beer of that strength, maybe you do need a decent amount of skill to make it semi-palatable, because literally it could just taste like.
It could just be off batch of beer and just pour ethanol in it.
Yeah,
But it reminds me of just like a prototype, like see how strong you can make it, limited runs and all that.
The one thing I thought about it was when it comes to the cost, 50 quid a bottle, which is pretty excessive, that ultimately, oh God. Yeah, 50 quid a bottle. I'm sure it's priced at that point. So, if you charge probably 10 or 20 quid, which is probably what it would cost to make and make a profit on it, that, especially when you get 100 years on the bugger, the people are going to buy it just basically alcoholics who are just doing it to get smash-o'd.
But if you spend that much money on this, then I actually feel bad for not saying it's nice. So, yeah, they're all right, they are. Not bad.
Yeah.
Nearly 100 quid's worth of booze.
Yeah, and
That's
so
insane.
so-
They are disgusting.
and that's what I'm saying. So who buys it?
No.
Because it's not.
Podcasters.
but it's not cheaper than a bottle of whiskey.
No.
So who buys it? So you look at the Brewmeister, and I'm sure they've got loads of other beers and stuff, but that can't be making money, surely.
If you go onto the Brewery 88 website, the only beer available is that one. That's the only one that they sell, and then everything else is merchandise to say I've.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
Same with that one on their website.
So, right, without getting too geeky and so businessy, as a business model, how can they continue to make that?
They must be making
effectively a bit like a lost leader. So you lose money on that, but you make money elsewhere, I suppose, whether it's merchandise.
It lasts 100 years. So they're in no rush,
But I reckon that's still in production, though. Yeah, but I reckon that's still in production.
You reckon? Last 100, yeah.
You only have to make one batch, and then
When
when
was
it
that?
runs
Well, that's
out,
what I
sell
mean.
it on, yeah.
But-
Made last, was it last?
Last April,
So
yeah.
do you reckon that's the only batch they've
When did you
made?
buy it?
I bought it about 2 months ago.
Ow, I've just
Yeah,
caught
so
the
I
beer
don't
in the
reckon- I
microphone.
don't reckon they're firing out new batches each week.
No, I can't
So
imagine.
you reckon every now and then they just do a run of that and they'll make like a barrel and then that yeah.
Mm.
So just recently we did the Cloudwater tour, you know what I mean? They were doing batch after batch. And to be fair, I was actually surprised by how small a brewery the Cloudwater was. You know, I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really surprised by how small he was. But I'm gonna imagine this is literally like almost like a still.
So,
Yeah.
so guys, this might be. So guys, this might be a. So guys, this might be a bit late to
old-fashioned.
say, but I still think it might be a funny joke. Crack open those hot sauces, pour them into a glass, see the difference. Then you'll like the first one, won't you? Because then when you've processed the actual hot sauce, then you'll know how actually spicy they've actually made it to be, and that it's not actually meant to be that spicy, and it's technically it's just technically hot sauce that is, except died down. So when you try the hot sauce, you'll figure that out maybe.
So I've just sent a couple of photos to my wife of the beer we're drinking, and she replied by saying, "You're all going to die. I ain't got a defibrillator in my bag." So, yeah, sound advice from a GP there. So, yeah, fair enough. Hey, pour some more. Let's go.
Beans nose, mouth to mouth.
Do I? Is this something we didn't? No. Now, what I will say as well. So coming up, we always like to share a little bit, you know, on these episodes where we haven't got a guest on. Well, yes, we do. We've got John on. To be fair, we've got Matilda on. To be fair, first time guest.
Yep.
So some of the episodes that we've got coming up. Next episode that we're going to be recording, me and guys just sitting down talking about the situation that Tall Boy Radio got ourselves into by just purely inviting a guest onto the podcast that got our hand.
Oh, right.
Emails from lawyers, that kind of stuff. Just a little bit of fun. Yeah.
I literally was talking to I was talking about to some of the staff today, and we got talking, and they said, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Oh, I'm trying like the world's strongest beer." We got talking, and then we got talking about the podcast, and they're like, "Oh, well, you know." So I was telling them a little bit of backstory, and somebody said, "Oh, why don't you do like true crime?" And I was like, "Yeah, we did that, we tried that," and then we got somebody on, and yeah, it didn't end well because there's various lawsuits and this, that, and the other, and yeah, it didn't go well. We need to fact check, and then we got in a not massive bother, but a tiny bit of bother. And I'm assuming it's that we're going to talk about.
Then the episode after that, we've got a prepper coming on to talk about prepping, the prepping movement in the UK, and then after that, we've got a guy on from Tennessee to talk about Bigfoot hunting. I'm excited about that.
Well-
to the view of the Bigfoot.
Well, Gypsy, I know what might not end well if everyone feels sick, but let's break this down a bit. They don't be sick in the bucket. They be sick in someone else's mouth. There we are, starting a sick train going from each to each.
No. I apologize for that.
So I was just explaining to John there what the sort of the backstory of potentially what we're talking about like lawyers involved and emails and this, that, and the other. So yeah, excuse me just while I continue to talk to John.
It was a very, very, very weird situation. So, guys, we've tried the strongest beer. We've tried a couple of cocktails. So, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap this episode up. So, Andy, do you want to sum up those beers for us? Which one is the best one?
Not
that
the
you tried?
spirit, though.
No, which is the best one that you tried?
I'd go with the first one because it reminded me a bit more whiskey. The second one, the aftertaste was just I can't even describe it. When you just shut your mouth and just breathe your nose, it wasn't for me. But also the old fashioned.
I can see what you mean. I sniffed that. Smelled like stuff that went in the washing machine. So, guys at home wouldn't recommend actually putting it in the washing machine. You will not see your clothes again.
It's going in
Very
the car
true.
on the way home.
Very true. John Boy, what do you make of them?
I'll be honest. I thought they were both just vile, absolutely dreadful. But I don't drink spirits. The only spirits I drink is gin with a fair bit of tonic as well. So yeah, I was never going to like them really. But
I've got
I've
tonic
tried
water.
them and, you know,
I've got tonic water if you want to try it. A bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure that helped.
Nothing. No.
I've just tried the strong one again.
They're both quite strong, to be fair.
Okay, so the strongest one, and it really doesn't get any better the more you drink of it. Because sometimes you think, you know, it's an acquired taste and I'll be fine, but no. Having said that, the cocktail that you made out of the second one, I actually prefer than the cocktail that you made out of the first one. So, oh, the burn! Oh, I heard that, John. The burn.
What do you predict, Matilda?
So having a sniff of the last one, it didn't smell like something that you'd actually digest. The first one, the same. It didn't smell like something that you digest. Like they smell like poison. Like it's not like you'd actually drink it. It didn't smell like you drink it. What it smelled like was death in a bottle with poison.
Death in the bottle's about right. And I've just had a quick look. So the first one that we tried, which was the 67.5%, there's dregs left in the bottle. It's probably a little nip. The second one we tried, there's a good half a bottle left there. So that probably dictates
That's not
actually.
getting drunk.
Well, you say that. The night is young. 2 sittings. So we can leave and we can go back in an hour's time.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Next on episode 285.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. So, I don't know.
Question for all out to know: will you guys stay for a bit? Okay, we'll stop. We'll go Andy, Uncle John, and then GFG.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put in because I'm here until these have gone.
Well, I would say
moving in.
I would say I'm only here for the beer, but I'm actually here for the beer and the food. So we're going to order some food in a minute. So yeah, we'll be absolutely fine. Why are you hugging me now? You're not having any. It's mine.
We'll order some food. Don't worry about it.
Or
yeah,
food too.
those beers for me, I don't know. Would anyone really classify them as beers? Honestly, they are. You know, from a so like Matilda mentioned earlier, fair play for remembering it to mention it and shoehorn it in. It's not even in my notes. But there was a Norwegian one, and it was from one that Andy had sent me a meme of or a GIF of. I forget where it was from. It might have been Instagram actually, and that is 95%, and it's not technically classed as a beer. Whereas these two are. I wouldn't classify them as beers. I wouldn't classify them as beers.
No, I don't think they are. It's a, and as John said earlier, I don't know whether he said it on camera or off camera, but there has to come a tipping point where, like, you have an 18, 19, 20% beer, and it's a beer, and it tastes nice and it's strong, but you think, yeah, that's a stout or that's an ale or whatever it may be, and then all of a sudden you get up towards you mentioned Andy was like a 40%, and you were like, oh god, it's a bit treacly, it's a bit. There comes a tipping point where you think that's not a beer anymore. That has to be like a spirit. And then you go up towards a 70, 80%, you're like, that's like triple strength vodka, whatever it may be. So I suppose for me, like 20% is probably where I'm at in terms of like I said, when we were in Edinburgh, was it 18, 19%, whatever it was, 18%, decent, nice.
Yeah, but I bet you've had way better beers because you've got. For me, I think about 5.5%, 6% for me is about right for a beer. Sometimes you get one that's a bit stronger, and you go, it's a really nice beer, but it's not as nice as those ones in your little comfort zone, and that for me is that. Anyone that's got a comfort zone around 80%.
Yeah, no, that's wow. I mean, I really enjoy, and it would be very remiss of us on Tallboy Radio to be talking about beer without mentioning Brewdog. We've mentioned it already once or twice tonight, and thank you very much, Brewdog. Yeah, I quite like Triple Hazy, which is 9.5%, and it's lovely. I genuinely like that beer. Now, could I drink 4 or 5 cans of it? Absolutely, I could. But would it be compass mentis after that? No, I wouldn't. But, you know, a couple of cans of that, great. You then look at around the 6, 7, 8%. You think, actually, that's really nice. I don't know what I mean. If you were going out for forget your standard like Carling crap or whatever, But if you were going out for like a nice beer with us lads, what would your standard beer be like? 6.5%, 7%?
If we go to Manchester, probably 10.
Go on, Andy, lad.
Manchester was a mess, wasn't it? Manchester went south towards because I had far too much.
So would it be 10? So effectively, I mean, I know you obviously you're very Belgian beers and stuff. Would you look at? I mean, when we went to London, we were like, oh my god, we were drinking like 8, 9, 10%ers.
No, it depends where you go. Most places don't do 10%, so it'll be just
for good reason.
yeah.
There's good reason why the people don't do 10%.
Yeah. To be fair, they just put for Sandy, Andy, come here. That's all. That's what they.
No, normally when I go to London with work, I go to Lowlander Cafe.
Yeah. Oh
They
mate,
used
yeah.
to do, I can't remember the brewery, but it's Magna. It's 15%, and I've had 4 or 5 of them in a night, and then gone to Pirate, which is 10.5, and I've played them about 6, 7 in total, and just stumbled my way back. But then, like, if I go to normally, I'll just find an average beer, like, you know,
Left at 6.5 or whatever.
Yeah. And there's a Spanish one in there that's quite popular at the minute. The Capaz? No, what's it called? It's red.
Don't know.
Cruz Campo.
Cruz Campo.
Yeah.
Oh, they're red.
Oh yeah, no.
So, but isn't it not about 5.5 though? Is
I
it?
don't even think it's that. Is it?
I don't know. Yeah.
But I've been having a lot of that.
Well, to be fair, when we went to London and we did the Lowlander, that was a decent place.
And the food was fantastic.
Food was
as well.
good. Food was really good, and again, it's one of those places that, to be fair, Andy took us there, and it was great. It was much better than the hotel that Andy booked for us a couple of years prior, which we won't even talk about. But yeah, that Lowlander was good. Food good, beer good, like quality. Like the menu was, and you could get it. To be fair, John, you could go there and pick up a 4%, 4.5%, 5%, and a range of beers. So you'd have like a stout, you'd have an ale, you'd have an amber beer, you'd have a wheat beer, you'd have loads of different stuff.
Probably like 30 odd beers.
Loads. But we had one of those, like, you know, like your tasting. So you'd have like, did they do 3 or 4, 3/3 or whatever it was? So you'd pick like 3. You go, I want a tasting board. You go, so you want this, I want this, I want this. But they had everything from, I'd say 4, 4.5 to 14, 15, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when we went to Manchester recently, the second beer that we were on in, like I say, Northern Monk was the second place we visited, was 11%, and that was before lunch. So,
and we had the old fashioned as well.
yeah, also before
lunch.
Then straight after that, we went to Bunny Jackson's, had cocktails.
Was it when we went to London that where did we go to? We went down to, was that where we went? And we went downstairs, and it was like 2, 3 in the afternoon. We're just drinking cocktails. It's like, this ain't going well. It's like 2 in the afternoon. I can't remember what the place is called.
Doc Martins or
Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to open a bloody cocktail bar in the afternoon,
you would try the likes of us.
It's not funny then, right? Honestly, like, be honest now as well. You know those little what, I can't remember what they call them, like mini Guinness. Or what do they call
Baby Guinness.
Baby Guinness.
Absolutely gorgeous.
They are, aren't they? Oh my word, they are.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Like you could drink truckloads of them.
Well, no, you think.
Well, exactly, yeah.
It does hit you. Have you tried it? No.
What?
It's like that. It's like, you know, it's like an inch and a half, and it does look like a Guinness.
Yeah.
Right on top, back at the bottom.
If you want to close this episode out, okay, we're going to close this episode. I bought it for when we do the black stuff episode, when we taste test different ones. I have in the cupboard a Bailey's. Okay, do you like Bailey's?
Yeah.
Everybody likes Baileys, don't they?
Aldi do a Bailey's equivalent, and it is stout flavored. Do you want to close it out with one of them?
Definitely.
Okay, Gaz.
Yeah.
Talk about something else while I go sort that out.
Yes.
Yeah. So, as Adam just said there, we did an episode where we did like a stout beer test, and we had like a Guinness Zero, a Guinness Conor McGregor, was it Black Heart, and then a Brewdog Forged, or whatever, or vice versa, whatever it was.
McGregor's is a 4.
McGregor's the Forged, Brewdog was the Black Heart, and we did a taste test. I think the next beer episode we do maybe would be, and we've got a different, because we were trying to talk about like different beers back in the day, with like Beamish, Murphy's, you know, the stouts back in the day where we were growing up and we'd be drinking those. So I think Ad's got like Mackeson Old Stout, and he's got this.
What percentage is Mackeson?
Mate, strong.
No, it's not. What?
Do you not think?
Mackeson is, you know it?
I thought it's strong.
No, it's. I'm sure. I mean, you might have to Google it, but I'm sure it's 2.9. I'm sure
I thought it's stronger.
No, because I bought some for my mum the other day, and she used to love the maximum, blackcurrant. But you used to call it Mac in a Backy.
Mackie and Blackie, yeah.
Mac in a Backy, and I bought those, and I
Good
found them at Home
talking.
Bargains. I saw them, and they're relatively cheap. Yeah, what's this one? Let's have a look. Who's brought one? 2.8.
Wow.
2.8, 2.9.
Your eyes are
Might
bad,
be a
dude.
mild
Yeah,
type of
2.8.
2.8%.
I thought stronger than that.
No, but God, that's good with blackcurrant. That is so good.
So we're doing an episode where you got Mackey's, and then I don't know what the others are. Is it what have we got?
We've got Murphy's.
Murphy's, Mackey's,
We've got Guinness Original.
Guinness Original.
And then we've got one called Dorothy Black, which I've never tasted. It's from Dundalk.
Are you coming on the episode then?
The Guinness, what's that Guinness one that they get from abroad? The Guinness Export. Have you had that one?
I've had
Is that with the green? Is that with the green
That's
label?
stronger than ours.
Is it?
7.5%.
Are you coming on the episode?
So, yeah, can if you want to.
Yeah, come on, dude.
If you're drinking the black stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, jump on. Andy, you coming down for that?
Depends what you're doing, but probably.
Well, we can always fuck it, dude. Sorry, I swore there. Sorry.
Yeah, drinking
How
that.
much of that are you pouring,
Plenty.
dude? Come down for that, and we'll do a taste test because the last one we did, you want to know. So Dave was on the last one. Big shout out to Dave. Hope you're okay, pal.
Yeah.
And then, so we did, like I said, we did 4 beers, and Kim was very much like, right, it's this. And so which one is that? Which one is that? Which one is that? And obviously we had to say which one we thought. To be fair, Dave said, yeah, I think
Dave got them all right before he starts slagging Dave off.
No, he did. He did. But that's with absolutely no knowledge of alcohol whatsoever, which maybe.
He's quite experienced in the 0.0.
Yeah.
So-
To be fair, though, we all got.
we got.
Yeah, that's the only one we got. We all got the 0 one. Yeah. We all got a 0. We all got the Guinness, and we all got a 0.
It's good. It's close.
No, it's terrible.
I don't mind it. Out of all the 0s, it's all right.
It's way better than no.
We all got the 0. We all got the Guinness, and then the only one we really disagreed on was the Conor McGregor or the Brewdog. So we got that like the wrong way around, sort of thing. So which is fine. Is this just Bailey's?
This is a stout flavored Bailey's. People have described it. People describe
That smells rank.
It smells like dog chews.
well.
Dog chews.
That smells rank.
People have described it as tasting like creamy bacon.
It smells just like dog chews.
It smells rank.
I'm not a fan of that.
Oh,
Fucking hell.
Tastes like dog shoes as well.
Oh.
Dog shoes.
You know what?
no, that's not that. Bad.
You know what?
It's not.
Give me that.
Compared to what we've tried tonight, that isn't that bad.
I don't know.
It's got a
actually.
nice sweet.
You like that?
I know. I think the snake venom's better than that.
That stinks.
It does stink really bad.
Yeah, but it does.
Jeez,
Yeah, but
that's
it
not
doesn't
bad.
taste as.
What
bad
is
as
the?
it smells.
What is it?
No, but literally dog chews, and I'm literally picturing those
Yeah.
plastic yellow bones, whatever they
That
call.
yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it smells horrible, but there's a.
Smells awful.
Oh, I think there's a bit of a caramel aftertaste or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Country cream.
Country
Yeah.
cream. Oh, country cream. It's a crunchy.
Crunchy cream.
Crunchy. There's nice.
Why is there a dint in the bottle?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're over the hour mark now. I think we're going to wrap it up. To be fair, I think snake venom was better than that last drop that we just had.
No.
You like that?
What? Well, this one.
Yeah.
This one's good. Yeah. This
Take
one's
the bottle,
good,
dude. Take the bottle. Take
Can I?
it. Yeah, yeah. of course
Oh
we
yeah,
can.
I'll definitely take it.
Sounds like happy days.
Yeah.
I've come for a podcast, so walk home the bottle. Happy days. Always a winner.
Yeah. Take these with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe it like that. That's really good.
That's thinking. That's absolutely amazing.
Give me the snake venom.
I honestly, the snake venom is the best one we've had out of those three.
What percentage is it? Because that's gone now. Oh, it's only 12. That's it.
Oh, there you go. You can have that one. There you go. Happy days. That's.
No.
You see, I'm a massive. Genuinely, I'm a massive Bailey's fan. I love Bailey's and Adam's good lady. We've had lots of nights where we've just drank like fucking truckloads of Bailey's, half pint Bailey's. With some people like it with ice. Me, some people don't add. So, but that ain't great.
That tastes like toffee or caramel or
Shit.
something with it. I'd say that tastes good. That tastes way nicer than
I don't like it.
I think
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head with a dog. Dog cheese.
Go on, Andy, lad.
It smells like dog cheese.
Anybody who's ever owned a dog, they've walked into a Pets at Home and gone, right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up now. We're just over the hour mark. Andy, been great to have you back on the podcast. Actually, not been that long. I think episode 164 was the last one we had you on, when we had Ryan on, talking about conspiracy theories. Sum it up for us, dude. Which has been your favourite beer of the night?
Left Nine's been the best. I don't know. I think they're both equal, but different. I think the Snake Venom reminds me of a whiskey. The other ones, it burns more, but the aftertaste is horrible. And this stuff, oh wow, it's a no for me, dog.
It's the worst of the lot. John Boy?
So I turned up with a drink I've never had before, Brew Good Fornio or whatever. I was quite enjoying it, and then it ruined it with the really strong, horrible tasting beers. They were vile, and then we've ended on something good. So if I could shout anything out to anybody tonight, it would be to Bonnycastle Limited Edition Stout. You have made an absolute cracker there. That's lovely. That is. Like that.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Thank
It's
you.
a couple of days' time. There you go.
There you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday for Tuesday. I genuinely have to disagree with John. It wouldn't be the first time in our lives we've disagreed, but I'm a massive Bailey's fan, and that's just awful. The two beers we've had, in a strange way, they actually weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. I built it up, I think, in my head to be absolutely horrendous. I do think that the Snake Venom is the better of the two. Whether that's because it's a slightly weaker, I don't know.
Use the word weaker in that sense.
But yeah, I can, because I'm spouting fact, because it is weaker. So, although weaker does constitute 67.5% or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm not sure I could drink lots of either of them. I know for a fact I couldn't drink lots of either of them. I'm looking forward to the next 3 bottles of the left. I'll be honest with you. But you know what? As a taste test, it's been a great episode. I've loved it. I hope you all out there in listener land have enjoyed a couple of the comments and various guests, Tiddy and whatever, sort of joining in, and it's been amazing. But yeah, until the next time when we do a taste test with various other beers, stouts. Until next time, yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Indeed. We need
2 seconds. I know that you want to like wrap it up.
Go for it.
Like, dead quickly. But I like it. When it oh my word.
Gone. Snake Venom's gone. There's your measure of satisfaction.
Well, there we go. But when it comes to like, I know you've given it a little bit of grief, the old Ballycastle and things, but I kind of feel that you lot have been judging that and comparing it to like Bailey's and things. If you ignore the smell,
Difficult.
But is that not part of a drinking sensation?
Well, it is a little bit.
Hold your nose and pour it down your throat, then, will you?
If you ignore the smell, you've got to admit that's quite a smooth taster.
It tastes a hell of a lot different from the smell.
It does. It tastes so much different.
does.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
But isn't like 50% of taste smell or whatever it is?
But there's no burn on that. Everything's quite smooth. And afterwards,
There's no burn. You're comparing that to these dudes.
but the aftertaste is quite nice on that.
Have you burped yet?
After that,
Yeah.
No. After those, and yeah,
I'm going to tell you now. I've just burped cow hoof. That's what it tastes of. So I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to say thank you very much for anybody who's joined on this episode. You're going to take one thing away. Personally, I actually think the Snake Venom, not too bad, dude. I thought that was okay.
I've just drank some more and it ain't great.
I know. All I'm going to say is it's finished. You know what I mean? Despite his wife being a GP's best advice. But Gaz is going to wrap it up while I sneak under the camera and go hit the close episode.
Nice. So yeah, look, we've had a blast. It's not quite as bad as Drunken Rumblings, Ramblings 2, 3, whatever it may be. Thanks very much to John, Andy, who've joined us for this podcast. Can't wait till the next time where we do a beer episode. And by sheer chance, John's like, oh, I quite like that. So I think when we next do the stout test, Andy, you're going to do a stout test as well. So until the next time, when we'll be talking about absolutely something completely different.